So today we're reviewing the Super Shredder. This is a base game schematic that can be got from missions, llamas, um, even a quest line in the main story. I know it's super weird. They kind of paint this as a super cool weapon, and just because it is a super cool weapon because it's a sniper shotgun. So I gotta get this question out of the way. Is it a sniper? Is it a shotgun? It's a sniper. It gets its bonuses from sniper heroes and sniper builds. So if you use this, don't use it with a shotgun build, use it with a sniper build. It can work as a secondary, but for today we're going to be using it as a primary since it's functionally a shotgun. And since it's a shotgun, we won't be doing a headshot build, but we're going for a crit rating, crit damage with magazine and affliction. This should be optimal and very tasty. Now, let's get to the build. This is the build we'll be using. It's functionally a shotgun build, except we just replaced two heroes. That's it. It's this game, when you actually do the hero builds in just the most basic buff way possible, it comes very clear that you just swap out two heroes and you have a different weapon build for, the situation. SMG, swap it out. AR, swap it out. Shotgun, swap it out. Sniper rifle, swap it out. So, honestly, you could probably just have one build for the swap outs, and then the rest of your builds can be super goofy or functionally awesome type of builds. I have like 4 different constructors. Like, if I can show them off real quick. Yeah. See, like, constructor, 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 and then I have my farming build. It's I don't know. It's just what I do. But point being, let's get into a game and let's test it out. Alrighty, before we actually get into a match, I want to point out something I've been seeing recently, and that's people using brick in an ice zone because there's metal corrosion. Now, ice storms, or water enemies, whatever you want to word it, they do double damage to brick. So if you're building on a brick, they're doing double damage to that said wall, floor, whatever. But then the metal corrosion is only activated by basic husks. So it only includes the normal husks, not the husky husks, the fat ones, not the husklings, the small ones, not mist monsters, only basic husks, not any subdivision of husk. Blasters won't activate it, smashers won't activate it, takers won't activate it, husky husks won't activate it, husklings won't activate it, loppers won't activate it, flingers won't activate it. Like, only basic husks can activate it, and it doesn't do much damage to the build. Now, if you do trap properly, and you keep close attention to your said builds, it's going to be fine. But the biggest issue is most players in these games, they don't do that. They're either uneducated about how the game works because they never read mission modifiers, or they do read them, but they don't work around them, and it's really annoying. And most of our missions today are metal corrosion and ice storm, so I'm going to try to get into a fire zone. There's one fire zone today in the 160 zones. There's also deliver the bomb, but it's deliver the bomb, and I want to avoid deliver the bomb because it's just not a fun mission of testing, and then we can't do a mini boss review because, yeah. I just got done recording that part, and it seems like there's only the reach of the mission being done right now, so yeah. And honestly speaking, if my teammates build a brick, I'm not even going to say anything on it, honestly. I've said it so many times, I kind of just don't care. Anyways, we are now in game, so let's go craft ourselves the Super Shredder. So, I'm not sure what to really expect, because honestly speaking, it's a weapon I've never used outside of, like, Ventures. I forgot about the resourcing update. So now we have a copy of it. Now since it is a sniper rifle, it does have fairly decent range. So you can use this at a range, and it is doing well. Interesting. Honestly, I kind of forgot. But yeah, it's a shotgun with a lot of range because it's a sniper rifle, but it's also a shotgun. It's really, really weird, but really, really cool. That's why I personally really like it on paper. I don't know about the actual functionality of it still, but from what I'm seeing, it's not doing the worst. Now, if I hit my shots, of course, it will do a lot better. That was a bit more slow. A bit more slow firing, which, depending on how you play, could be a little bit annoying. I'll admit, but can't get it because there's a cut on screen. But personally speaking, it will do fine, I'm hoping, because it is just a shotgun, and shotguns do a fairly good job at clearing enemies. So yeah, I'm gonna just build defense because I don't think my teammates are gonna be building it. So yeah. Alrighty, the mission has begun, and I just got done building. Shout out to my teammates who helped upgrade, I appreciate it. Now it does seem like they are using some blockades, but we're hoping for the husks to actually go towards this. That will slow them down a bit. That's what we want. And since it is a sniper, we can actually use that at a distance. Now, since it is a shotgun sniper hybrid, you usually use shotguns for like pretty, for crowd clearing, you know, you use a shotgun for crowd clearing. But this feels a lot more like a single target weapon. I don't know how to explain why it feels like that, but it just feels like it's intended for a single target. I'm not really sure why. Oh, did we just one-tap that? Oh my god. I haven't done a wafer test yet. We're just one-tapping enemies. Now we didn't get to do the 160 enemy test, but we'll do it next round. we'll do it next round because I think this is going to be a two-parter weapon review. We'll do it twice. Now, I don't want them to go this way, so I'm just going to put a wall like that, and maybe just lock it up like this. So yeah, I want them to go the full way around. Now, since of course the shotgun itself, or sniper rifle, however you want to word it, because it's a sniper, but it's also a shotgun. But the shotgun itself has a super tight spread, where it's going to be hitting a lot more dense up enemies. Well, at a distance, it'll be hitting up more dense up enemies. But you know, it feels like you're really meant to focus on a target. I can't believe I freaking missed that with a shotgun. Gosh. Oh man. Since this shotgun is also a shell-loaded shotgun, as in you load the shells in individually, you can actually run this magazine perk and have the same effect as a reload speed, which is super tasty, because you get more bullets for the same amount of speed as a reload perk. It is super tasty in my opinion. You can have a damage perk there, but I don't recommend it, because I think the extra magazine is just kind of useful for shotgun weapons, because the more you can shoot, the more you do. As you can see, unlike some other shotguns where it's super fast, sort of tight, or you know, very wide firing range, this is more as a single target feeling weapon where you're really meant to use it for targets that are far away and kind of hit them from there like this. Just make them chill, kinda. But you know, you can get that guy over there that's stuck on the railroad, and then you can get the biggie. Like, it's taking away big portions of their health, yes. But personally speaking, it feels a lot more single target than other weapons do, because it really eats up enemies. It really eats up enemies. Like it says, it's a super shredder. You know, kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sequel. Weird reference. I know, you're like watching a Save the World video and I'm making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference from like the 90s around, so I know, not probably expected at all. But personally speaking, yeah, look at that. It really eats up the enemy's health. It's super strong. It's just, unlike other shotguns like the Husk Buster or, what's it called, Old Smoky, I think. That's like the scrap version of the dual shotgun, double-barreled shotgun. But you know, those are a lot more crowd clearing and widespread. You get multiple enemies, you do a lot of damage. But this feels more like you're at a distance and you're kind of just shooting at the enemies, kind of picking them off slowly, which can work for a weapon. But personally speaking, I kind of like my shotguns to have a lot more crowd clearing capability. But again, this is technically a sniper rifle. It's a weird case of like the Dragon's Breath, where it's a different weapon type, but it's functionally a shotgun, which is a very Save World thing to do. Save World has a lot of weapons that are kind of just like this, where it's functionally this weapon, but it's also functionally that weapon, and it's kind of confusing. Now let's not die. Let's pop a wafer and see if this thing is. Let's see. I don't think didn't feel that much different. We just. How much health did I just do to that enemy? It looked like that said 1,000,000, but I am a little bit dyslexic, so. Mr. Raccoon Man, oh, thank you. What skin is that? Green Power Ranger? Shout out to the Green Power Ranger, awesome. My favorite Power Ranger. But, point being, this weapon is super tasty. And it's doing extremely well. Now next round, I might test it out with Red Lion Ramirez in the lead, because she does increase our fire rate by I want to say 45% in the lead, but only gives us a 17% damage boost. Let's see, trap vulnerable. Okay. You know, it feels like this happens a lot more than it should. Okay, I'm gonna pop down my drones so we can pick up any enemies that come around. Now we just need to wait for it to activate the traps. Okay, what level are these traps? Whoa, they're high. What? They're light level. Why did that do so little damage? What the hell? High level trap, but it does little damage. What? I'm gonna shoot at it. Oh no, it escaped. Escaped. Get me up! Give me a birthday degrader!
Thank you, birthday degrader.
Look at our teammate. Yeah. Yeah.
Birthday degrader.
I don't know why I said it like that. I'll be that honest. But now since it is shotgun, it does have the self-control pellets, which can hit multiple enemies. But I think you need to really focus the pellet on this weapon. I don't think the pellets themselves are that strong. I think it's just mostly from the if I remember correctly from my Save the World knowledge bank, the pelts themselves are very weak. But when the pelts hit one enemy in the face a bunch, it does a ton of damage. Even though I just hit him in the torso. I think he was half health. I think that one was half health, so I think that's why that did so much. But oh, Smasher! Smasher! Let's see, let's pop a wafer. And let's go.
Let me smash.
Let's see, yeah, it's honestly doing fairly well. Now, I wish we could fire a little bit faster and keep our crit rating perks and bonuses, but sadly we can't do that with these types of base game weapons. You can't have weird perking like some event schematics or event schematics. It is very much, you know, a base game weapon, so the perking system for it is very much base game. As you see that the Husky was smashing the wall and it didn't get Metal Affliction. I think that proves a point that Metal Affliction isn't that big of an issue. You just kind of have to make sure you're trapping properly and actually watching your builds. Now, they are building out of brick, but that's fine. It's just one wall. It should be fine. I would just put a full right in front of it. There should have been on a stair. The stair would have been faster, but I'm kind of old school. I'm kind of old school, I'll admit. Let's just get that in there. Kill the team. I love the level anyways, even though it is the improper build. But anyways, I'll see you all next game. And don't forget to say GG, you know, be a good teammate. Say GG. Alrighty, so we have swapped out the Rapid Raider Jonesy for Redline Ramirez. So this will increase our damage by 70%, but that's also the same thing in the lead. But we do get a bonus fire rate by 45%, which might make the weapon a little bit more fluid to use, because it is very slow firing, but this might help it out. Alrighty, we are in game. I got some wafers, and we're going to do a smasher test because there's two right in front of me. Now, I just heard a golden crow, or purple crow, whatever. But I can't seem to find it. Oh wait, oh, I just saw it for a blip second. But point being, let's go do a smasher test. Since it is range, we can actually do it from right here. So let's just... Oh yeah, look at that. With Redline Ramirez in the lead, oh, it's so much better. It's so much better. I personally like the more faster fire rate with Redline Ramirez so far. Because, like, look how much more we are firing. Oh, it is so nice. Gee, okay, no, it is not, it is not a fully automatic weapon. You do have to tap it individually. Little heads up I didn't point out last match is that you do have to point it out. You have to tap it individually for it to fire. But with Redline Ramirez in the lead, look at that. Now, of course, we're doing a bit less damage because there isn't a crit to it, or much of a... Oh, there is a crit, but it isn't as strong as before. But with the faster fire rate, we are probably having a higher chance to crit. But not per hit, but, you know, per bullet, I guess. I don't know how to word that. The point being, we should be doing a bit more because we are firing a lot faster. We got some splashers over here, so let's pop a wafer. Let's see what we can do. If I don't miss my shots. Yo, you look at that, that is super tasty. Super tasty. Look at my fingers. Those are tasty. Here, let's help that a bit. I'll put a corner around it as well. Now they did use brick up there, but flingers, they might target it, but it should mostly be fine. To be that honest. Oh wait, we have. Oh, actually, this is gonna be super easy. Hold up. Also, I want to bring up a little something random I've been seeing recently. I've seen a lot of people being like super hyped for Christmas this year. Like last year, I saw like a lot of like gloomy thoughts about Christmas. But it seems like this year people are like super hyped for it, and I think that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I didn't like honestly like last year on Twitter, people were like the Grinch. People were very like, Grinchy about it and very pessimistic. But this year they seemed like actually like fairly hyped about it, and I'm honestly loving the vibe. Now, we haven't even hit Halloween yet. People are already thinking about Christmas. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, people have their favorite holidays, and if you judge them for having a holiday they really like and, you know, like to express outside of the holiday, like, you know, you're kind of a dick, because we do the same thing with Halloween, except more people are accepting of Halloween love outside of Halloween. You know. Like, you know, I don't think we need these double standards, you know. Big calendar. The calendar really has messed up human psychology when it comes to holidays, man. It's honestly kind of crazy. I've made that joke before. I just wanted to share it because I haven't made the joke before on my YouTube. The point being, you know, if you like Christmas, be yourself. You know, enjoy it. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, well, I respect that too. Be yourself. Honestly, that's all I can even say. Just be yourself. Alright, I was just gathering blue glow to start the mission, but we have a mimic right here, so let's do this. Okay, and yep, that was the mimic test. I hope you enjoyed. fairly strong weapon, fairly tasty. Already the defense has started, and we have honestly way over trapped. But yeah, that isn't really much of an issue. Now, if we do stay at a distance and not zoom in while firing, we do hip fires. I will actually hit a couple more enemies than usual, making it so we can have some crowd clearing, but it isn't that bad. Honestly, it is a lot more of a similar weapon in my opinion. Now, with the build we have, where we do fire a lot faster with Redline Ramirez in the lead, it does feel a lot better to use. But without that extra crit, when we do Killer Walking Out with Robert Raider Jones in the lead, it does feel a lot weaker because it's no longer one tapping, but we have the trade-off of it doing a lot more damage to the enemies since it fires way faster, and it is two-shotting to one-shotting enemies still. That's great. But when it comes to the smashers, the blasters, the takers, the clingers, and such on and such forth, it does feel less strong. But honestly, I really prefer the fire rate. The extra fire rate with the affliction really makes it feel a lot better. And also, unlike other shotguns where it's optimal crowd clearing, you actually get to be at a bit of a distance when you do it. And that's super tasty, I was gonna say. Also, we have war cries, so we can even make it go way faster. That's great, that's great. I like that. And it's about to break, so let's just pop away first. Try to aim those heads. Now I'm hip firing and trying to hit a headshot at the same time. Now if you're doing a headshot, you should, you know, zoom in, getting that ADS. But, you know, it's doing fairly well, and we get to keep a bit of a distance. And you know, social distancing, you know, it's no longer 2020. There's no longer the thing. But you know, getting a good social distance from these houses is fairly nice. You know, they stay far away, and I get to shoot them in the face and body and everywhere else. Now, of course, if we're up close and hitting more pellets, or we zoom in, you know, it's going to kill them a lot faster. But it honestly just feels nicer. Now, as you see, it's very nice. Another grenade, reload. Let's focus on this blaster. Yeah, fairly good. Fairly fast. Fairly good. Now, personally speaking, I view this a lot more as probably a secondary, because it can work in the lead. But let's say you have like a bow as your primary, or just like, I don't know, obliterator. You know, what I gave my defender. Oh no! Where did they get in? Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh man. How? Oh, they swapped. Storm swaps. I didn't notice. Now my copy is about to break, which means people catch a new one. I'm gonna put down my drones, just in case. Oh, they're building a brick. Uh, should be fine just to hold above the back. Hold the back there. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go grab the copy. You know, I shouldn't have all my weapons favorited, but like I like all my weapons, and that's how I just make sure I don't accidentally cycle a weapon I'm using, or like maxed out. But personally speaking, you should use the favorite system a lot more intentionally than I do. Mine is just so I don't actually recycle them in the collection book because I am a bit lazy and I'm a bit forgetful, and yeah, it's a whole thing. My point being, be better than me when it comes to collection books, because I'm not the best, to be honest. Now we can double pump these, okay, but I feel like double pumping them isn't that optimal. Yeah, because if you're on controller like me, you're just going. Yeah, and it doesn't feel any faster either. So honestly, I just don't suggest it. So let's just get in here, wipe these edges out. So, from what I've seen so far, it's a super strong, well-ranged shotgun, which at afar, it will hit multiple enemies with its pellets. But up close, it will only hit one enemy, of course, and if you want to target one enemy, like a flinger, blaster, whatever, you get to zoom in, and you get to pick them off that way. So it's a very flexible weapon, I'll admit. It is super flexible, but its intended use case is a lot more single-targeted, as we can see from how it's functionally being used and intended for. And it's also a sniper, and snipers aren't usually, you know, crowd-clearing weapons, except like bows, I guess. They are a lot more crowd-clearing. So, you know, but this feels like a very unique case, especially since you can get it from a mission in the base game, and you can get from llamas, and you can get it through a lot of means, and it's a super strong weapon, which means it can be fairly useful. And, you know, as you see from afar, it will hit your enemies, and it will do fairly well. But we have a mini-boss! Okay, and yeah, look, it's doing fairly good damage, even against each of the bosses these requires you to use melee. But, as you see, it is taking out a good decent chunk of some of the blood plate. Very tasty, and very good. Yeah, I was just checking if I wasn't muted, because I honestly forgot that my headset has 2 ways to do, and I just got to check it out. So if I set place probably just send over real quick, that's because I was just checking to make sure I wasn't accidentally muted. Because if I was, that means this entire video would have to be re-recorded, and that is not fun. Shocker, right? But, as you can see, it is a fairly strong weapon, with good range, good damage, and from afar, when you're doing hip shots, can hit multiple enemies, and the affliction can take care of them. And it's, honestly, super nice. But, that's all I have to say, and I'll cut back to lobby now. Alright, we are back to lobby. I have one llama I can open, so let's hope I get a black metal weapon. I kind of want to get the sniper rifle, because besides looking really cool, I also want to see if it's also viable. So, please, sniper rifle. Please, sniper rifle. Please. No. Dang it. Okay. I don't think I'm getting a sniper rifle. I got Brainiac Jonesy, though. Brainiac Jonesy. I have like 3 of them now. Let's go. Let's go. Well, yeah, well. Okay. Anyways. So, would I suggest the Super Shredder as a primary weapon? After some thought, and looking back at the footage, of course, honestly, yeah, it can be a primary weapon. Now, it is a bit weird to use because it is a super tight, like, weapon spread. It doesn't have a very wide spread unless you're, like, super far away, and the pellets, of course, have a very long range, so if you're far away, it can clear out crowds with the affliction, and can be very tasty. But personally speaking, I view it more as a single target weapon since it does great single target damage, and you can shoot from far away, and you get to keep a safe distance at all times. And honestly, you can use it as a secondary and a primary, which is super good, especially in this game where if you're doing a sniper build and you need something as a secondary just to clear out enemies real quick, this can work great. Now, if you do run it as a primary, I suggest using Redline Ramirez because that extra fire rate will make it a lot more fluid to use and just honestly bring a better time. Also, she does have Warcry, which can also be super useful if you want to get some extra boost or boost your teammates and help out. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you all next time, and I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.